Kamen Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of Kamen Rider Ex-Aid episode 18. So this was an okay-ish episode. There was definitely some good stuff that happened that moved some things forward. First of all, I guess I just want to talk about how pancakes, they're just so good. No, I don't know where that came from, but they are. Better than this episode. I mean, it's hard to find an episode of Togu that's better than pancakes. Why have I started like this? Anyway, so basically, unless it was revealed before and I just don't pay attention, because again, earshot a lot of the time, but Genm actually stated finally what his plan is after a long time of just going around showboating, that Kamen Rider Chronicle is basically he's going to give everybody rider powers, or at least is this how I understood it, and then he's going to lose his voice for a second, and he turns into Gaja, and then we do Bokenger 2 Electric Boogaloo. It's a secret Bokenger sequel. No. This is a weird one already, guys. No, anyway, so that's the plan, is to basically have like a giant citywide fight. I don't know if it was worldwide or citywide, but regardless, bunch of people gonna get rider systems and then they're gonna fight it out. It's kind of like Genm, where Ryoma wanted to give people Sengoku drivers to buy, but it's not for survival, it's just for fun. So I'm glad that was clarified. And so now it does make sense, at least a little bit, why he wanted to get rid of the other riders, right? Well, because they're interfering. I mean, so it makes sense why he didn't need them, I guess. Because my main problem was he kept saying, I want to make Kamen Rider Chronicle, but we got to get rid of the Kamen Riders first. And I was like, what? That makes no sense. But so it makes sense now because he doesn't need them if he's going to have a bunch of other riders, and he wants to get them out of the way. However, he really wouldn't have them bothering him specifically if he hadn't been such a showboat about it. Like, seriously, he crafted himself as, like, really mysterious. They didn't know who he was, framed Laser to misinterpret his identity, and then ever since then he's just been a little insane showboat. That's the word of this review, but like it's just kind of annoying because he was actually pretty smart about it, and he could have easily like stayed in the shadows and just kept sending bugsters at him and then been working on his plan to do Kamen Rider Chronicle, and they might not have ever known about it until it happened. And then, like, in the chaos of everyone getting rider systems, he could have taken him out if he wanted to, or because, you know, it would be that classic, like, they're civilians, we can't hurt them, even though they're attacking us. And then he could take them out then. Granted, then Genm would take everyone out and there would be no show. But, I mean, my point is that it makes sense, but it still has some of those small little decision-making things in Genm that really, Genm, oh my god, Ex-Aid, that really bother me, because they're really stupid, like, logic things that could have very easily been solved. But regardless, I'm at least glad it's clarified, because it was making no sense. And then we got the sort of pre-debut of Tattle Quest's upgrade form, Fantasy Tattle, or Tattle Fantasy. What is, I remember, so we got an answer at some point. I asked somebody, and they answered us what tattle means, like in Japan, why it makes sense. But regardless, both of them are just like the lamest sounding name. It makes it sound like you're like the knight of tattletelling. But so like he used that, and basically it was like when Dragonite Hunter happened, and it was just like the little mini dude attacking. I honestly thought Genm was gonna pull out a gamer driver and transform and do it, which I thought would have been kind of interesting to see him use what's going to be Brave's upgrade first. But there was like the pre-update of that when he was attacking Ex-Aid. And in this episode, obviously, the other huge event was that at the end, Ex-Aid found out that he has the Bugster virus, which caused him to like fritz out and like start disintegrating and stuff. So like, okay. So, and then also in this episode, Genm gave Stupid Burger Guy a virus from last week. And of course, Emu's doing the classic, I gotta protect their smile, and Brave's being standoffish because he wants to save Emu, but he doesn't want to tell him why. And it's like, the whole thing confuses me. Not like why Emu has it, but like their logic. Because I mentioned like, oh, they're attacking him, wouldn't that be more stressful than him finding out? Because like, usually, unless I'm misremembering this, doesn't the patient stress out, and then the bugster happens, right? And then the bugster tries to get him to freak out so much that they disintegrate or disappear or whatever. So like, wouldn't the bugster have come out first? It seems weird, a weird logic to think attacking him mindlessly would cause him to stress out less and not tell him anything. And it also seems weird that he would freak out just knowing he has it. Because obviously, like, when people, I mean, you would freak out. I would freak out. But, like, not that level. Because, like, obviously I would have seen that people have gotten it, and as soon as they're diagnosed, they're not like, poof, A. And then B, he's obviously had it for a long time if he's patient 0 and been fine. So, like, I don't know. It just seems weird. But so that was a big thing. And Genm basically did it at the end, which is funny because Genm like literally killed Laser. One of the reasons he did was to stop him from telling Emu. But then he did it at the end because he wanted to upset Paradox, because he was about to take Ex-Aid out. He was like, give me your gas shots, and he told him the thing to him, like, dude, just take him out and take him yourself. I know it's a kid's show. It wouldn't happen. But I just hate Emu. I'm kind of hoping that he just disappears forever. Like, I just hate him. But regardless, so like he was getting ready to take Ex-Aid's gas shots, and then Paradox is like, no, you don't do that because you use bugsters as tools. And he's like, dude, you literally killed a bugster last week. So what? Toku-nonsense.jpg. And then they fought, and then he's like, I want to ruin your happiness, so I'm going to tell Emu he's a bugster. So this is stupid as I'm saying it. But so he basically told Emu he's a bugster to proof him so that Paradox would never get a chance to fight him. It was like some classic Toku reasoning. And I just want to say that I've mentioned it probably the last few weeks, because you probably noticed it too, that they've cut the opening theme. And as I've mentioned, I'm fine with that, because I always fast forward through the opening themes anyway. But then they randomly inserted it in the middle of the show, and the first time they ever did it, it was the end of the dramatic scene when everyone was kind of ailing from Paradox, and it was ill-fitting to have that theme, you know, playing. In fact, I forgot to mention this last week in the episode I hated, but one good thing about last week's episode was it was the first, like, perfect context for the theme song. It was played during the fight scene with Juju Burger, and it was perfect, kind of like how PR or Sentai will use the theme or a song to, you know, pump a fight scene up. So the fight scenes in this one maybe weren't so fitting for Ex-Aid to play, especially since it was like Paradox, but they should have put it there instead. Again, they ruined the vibe of the last scene with, it was dramatic, and Genmu's telling Ex-Aid that he's like Bugster and he poofs, and all this stuff's happening, and it's really dramatic, and then it's like, can it be me? And it's like, no, just, it's like, I hated it. Like, it bothers me so much. There's obviously some sort of contract with, they have to have the theme song there. So, but even if it's a fight scene where they're losing, I would much rather have it be put in a fight scene or something. And it's just so ill-fitting. It bothered me, because it would have been a really cool moment if it wasn't playing that. Like, you don't play the main show's triumphant theme song when the character is being killed. I don't know. I just hope they fix that. I'm totally fine with them cutting the opening. Just fix where you place it, man. But yeah, there was some good revelations in here. It wasn't anything like earth-shattering. It was all really predictable stuff from like templates we've been using, but at least like we're moving things along. Looks like next week we might get rid of Emu's positive personality, and it's just gonna be like the douchey M gamer, and I'm seeing that as a positive, but they probably won't. But we'll see. Overall, decentish episode. I'd probably give it about a 7. Anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you got the crazy podcast at writersrangeexamples.com, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.